Hey folks, Eric the Old Jarhead here. Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for watching. So, what would you do if you made a mistake on your sawmill like this one? So folks, if you think the Old Jarhead doesn't make mistakes, I got news for you. I make my share, and in this video you're going to see that I leave my far end toe board up with this big Doug fir on the mill. Now for those who don't know, if you leave your hydraulic toe board up, you're going to start milling wedges. So let's get into it. I'm going to get this log started, and I'll show you where I made the mistake and how I fixed my mistake and how I corrected it so that I still made good lumber and had very minimal loss despite making that silly mistake of leaving the far end toe board roller up. So I'm going to let this run a little bit, and I'm going to jump in and show you where I made the mistake and what I did to correct it. Once we got this log up on the deck, there was a lot of dirt and rocks in the bark, so we went ahead and kind of scrubbed it off, peeled it off, got rid of as much bark as we could so that I didn't have to worry about ruining a band on the dirt that was caked in this log. You know, sometimes when you're dragging logs around on the ground, they're going to get some dirt in the bark, and yes, the debarker will clean out the inlet side or the infeed side of the band, but on the outside you still got dirt, and that can cause the band to get dull pretty fast too. So we just cleaned it off so we can get going. This is a good sized log. It's about 10 feet long, 10, 11 feet long. We're going to make a lot of 2x out of it, but I'm going to lose a little bit here. You know, these dust chutes on the sawmill tend to get plugged up a little bit now and then, so you got to clean them up. Now, one thing you've probably heard me say many times is that I'll lift the toe board up, get the pith leveled, make my first opening face, then roll the log 90 degrees into the side supports, and I'm still leaving my toe roller up because I'm keeping the pith centered. So that's just standard operating procedures, nothing new here. Get that first cap cut off the deck, and if I've got a good opening face, I'm going to leave it. But on big logs, sometimes what I'll do is I'll take a big flitch cut, especially if I think I can get two 2x6s out of it. So if it's better than 12 inches wide, I'll go ahead, make a 2-inch flitch cut so that I can turn that into two 2x later. All right, we got that done. Now watch carefully here, and you will notice that when I make this roll, I should have dropped the toe board roller. You can just barely see it on the far end, and I did not. Maybe I got distracted, but you can see right there, it's kind of lifted on the far end. That's a problem, and I didn't see it. Now what would you do right here? I'll tell you, I didn't know it was still up. I just wasn't paying attention, and so I made my cap cut, come back, make another flitch cut, so what my plan was to get this cant mill down so that I could cut 3 6-inch cants out of it and then mill those. But you'll notice that far end toe board roller is still up. So now I have a log that's tapered from those first 3 faces, and I'm already cutting into the 4th face without realizing that that toe roller is still up. And you can kind of see it if you look. That log looks to be tapered. It's still up on the far end, and I'm not noticing it. So I took my cap cut, I'm coming back to make a flitch cut. Get that one off the deck. draw it back. Go ahead and I decide, oh, I'm going to make another one. Adjust the water a little bit and away we go, right? Even though the toe board roller is up on the far end, that 6-inch cant is 6 inches on both ends because it's level across the top. However, the bottom is not. It is tapered, and that is going to be an issue. So right there, I dropped my toe roller. I just realized what I had done. And of course, now I'm going to go and measure it, figure out, okay, what have I got here? It's, you know, you goof up sometimes. That's what happens. So what I've got to do now is I've got to square the cant up first. And what I do is I'll try to get as much out of it as I can. Now this first board, a 1-inch board, is going to be tapered. Look at that thin taper. Now it's possible you could cut back to where it's still 1 inch. It might be okay. I think in this case it was so badly tapered that I said just toss it in the firewood pile. In this one here, I take another 1-inch cut, but the overall length is long enough that we'll be able to cut the far end a couple feet off, and I came down low enough that I squared the cant on the far side. So in this case, you'll see me pull my tape measure out, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, cut it off here, and you're still going to get a 1 by whatever it was, 1 by 12. As long as you cut that end off, it's going to be fine. Now I can start working on my flitches here. I'm going to have to trim those because they are tapered in width, but that's okay. We're going to fix it. Now we're going to go ahead, flip the cant. Now remember, it's still tapered now because I actually cut with my toe boards up in 2 different planes. So I've got to go in and just skim enough off the top that I can hit the far end height. So if it was 10 inches, which I think it was in this case, I might have been at 11 on the near side and 10 on the far side, but I went ahead and cut down to the far end taper, got rid of that one, got it squared up. Now we're finally square, and I can go ahead and finish this cant and knock it down into 2x6s. So we lost a little bit there because of that little mistake I made. However, we recovered because I was able to just skim it down enough to get what I needed out of it, but I was not able to get 2 6-inch cants out of it. So what I did is I cut flitch cuts, got them off the deck, and we'll come back and fix those afterwards. We'll take that taper out. We're going to flip this over, make sure we don't get any wane or anything on the bottom side. Mill that one down, and then get it off the deck and put the next cant up. You can see me here using my log right sawmill special. I'll tell you, these are great, and I'm going to be giving one away pretty soon. So if you're a subscriber to the channel, and if you're not, you might want to subscribe now. I'm actually going to give one of those away. That's thanks to Log Right. They've sponsored a giveaway for me as a thank you to you for subscribing to the channel. So now we've got a 6-inch thick cant, which is perfect. That's what we want. But it's also tapered. So I'm going to have to go ahead and cut that taper out before I can cut this cant down. So we'll go ahead, we'll take that first skim cut off, make a second one, and you'll see me grab that tapered piece and toss it off here. Look at that. It's a big taper, but we got it off. Back to square. Now we can just flip it over, take off the wane, and knock this one down. Now that I've got the cant down to below 6 inches in height, we can go ahead and stack all those flitches back up. And of course I had that 1 2x still on there, so I just toss it off. And now I can go ahead and take the taper out of the flitch cuts that had taper in them, as well as trim up any of the bigger ones that had a lot of wane on them. So we go ahead, rip her down, get them turned over, and then I can cut down the other side as well. And it takes a little bit of work to do this. As I've said before, I like to do it at the end of a log when I've got a cant that I can put them up against. Makes it real easy to clamp them against something, and I'm not fighting that issue. So we just clamp them on there, run down, take all the wane off, get rid of the wane, and then any boards that are left that I still need to take some wane or a little taper out of, we'll put those back up against that cant after we pulled the good stuff out, and then we'll just rip those down. Now they're all square, no more wedge cuts. No more toe board rollers left up. I think I was smacking myself in the head there for doing that, making that dumb mistake. And there we go. We got those flitches done. Get them off the deck. All I got to do now is rip down this last cant, and we're good to go. All right, folks. Listen, I got a video coming out pretty soon that you're going to have an opportunity to win one of those Log-Rite Sawmill Special Cant hooks. So stick around, keep an eye on the channel. Thanks for watching, everybody. The Old Jarhead out.